Hey everyone, it's Dr. Andrew Orr here. I thought I'd come on this morning and talk about a topic that I often see discussed, and I've talked about it before, but and we see it on both sides of the fence. But this one is about the whole gender bashing thing again. I've talked about this before because we often see the gender bashing of male healthcare practitioners and things like that, and males in general. And last night, my eldest daughter was, she's always searching the internet for things, especially to do with women's health issues, because she knows I'm very passionate about it. I love helping women. And the other thing, I'm a male. So yeah, I went on to have a look. There was a story on the ABC, I think it was on Triple J, and it was The Hack, actually, which is a radio show here in Australia. And I suppose now with all podcasts and all that, I mean, any radio show can be listened to around the world. But there was comments on there, and it was about CBD oil. And it's something that my patients ask me about, and I won't comment too much about it here because I just don't want to go there because, regulators and things like that, whatever you say, we can get into a lot of trouble with our personal views and things like that. But as I say to anyone, if something's working for you, I've said it on my recent fertility video. If someone said dirty dishwashing water would work for me, I'd go and try it, as long as there's research to back it up. Anyway, I went on to this post, and my daughter patched me in, and I had a look at it, and I have to say, I was actually a little bit taken back. I was a little bit disgusted at what was being said on there, and it was to do with period pain. Now, if anyone knows me, one of my mottos is no stone left unturned, and one of my other mottos is period pain is not normal. And while I don't know where to start with it. As you can see, some of the comments actually really rot me. But one of the comments that was brought up is no uterus, no comment. And I've seen this time and time again. I've had women throw at me, you don't have a vagina, you don't have a uterus, you don't know what you're talking about. And I've seen that happen a lot. Now, I can come from the side where I can look at things objectively and try and look at things on both sides, and I can, honestly, but a lot of people can't. So comments like that are not only defamatory, but they're actually disgusting in many ways, and they show a lack of education, they show a lack of intellect, and they show a lack of compassion, and there's no call from it. And if a man was saying that about a woman, I would be saying exactly the same thing. So yes, I want to talk about this one. I think what a lot of people don't know, like I said, is that there's men like myself. Yes, we don't have a uterus, and no, we don't have a vagina, and no, we don't know what it's like to have a period, and a painful one, and we don't know what it's like to have endometriosis and adenomyosis and be bleeding and using, pad after pad after pad and feel like you're hemorrhaging and can't leave the toilet. But I hear about it every day. But at the same time, I've shared my story that I have a chronic pain condition. I'm waiting for my 8th operation as we speak, and it's a very dangerous operation. And I'll probably have to take, a good space of time off work and all kinds of things. So I understand pain. Pain is pain, and I need everyone to understand that, whether you've got a uterus or a penis or whatever, pain is pain. But yes, that is not discounting about what women go through with period pain. And as anyone knows me, I'm very passionate about helping women have a voice to do with endometriosis, period pain. And I keep saying to you, my motto is period pain is not normal, because it isn't. But this whole no uterus, no comment, what I'm going to make very, very, very clear here is a couple of things. Now, on that post, I actually saw a male commenting and getting caned. I mean, he was getting hammered. And what he put forward was some actually constructive arguments about research to back up CBD oil. And he was actually correct. He was saying, well, you know, there's not enough conclusive research at this present time. And he wasn't saying there's no research. He wasn't saying don't use it, things like that. And he was getting, oh, you don't have a vagina, you don't have a, you know, no uterus. There was a comment, like a meme put up, a GIF put up about no uterus, no comment. And while those things are funny in some aspect, they're not funny. It'd be different if this guy was coming on there and being an idiot. I'm sorry, but it, you know, that'd be a different story. But let's look on one side. A lot of males have no idea about women's issues. And I even know some healthcare practitioners that have no idea as well. But at the same time, I also know some female healthcare practitioners that I would not want to see my daughters go to. And I get a lot of people telling me on one front that male healthcare practitioners are often more gentle with them and their consultations and things like that. But at the same time, I know in men's health, there's a lot of women that are up the top pinnacle of men's health and do far better than males. And it seems to be the opposite reverse role. So this is a human thing. This is not a gender thing. This is just people being assholes. Sorry, I'm going to spell it out. It is. So I'm going to be really, really clear about them I'm coming from this just from a male perspective, and I'm going to come from it from a factual perspective. And I want a lot of people to let this sink in. When it comes to endometriosis and pain and gynecology and things, I need a lot of people to know this, that a lot of our top specialists are males, especially like here in Brisbane, we have Dr. Michael Wynne Williams, we have Dr. Anush Asdani, we've got Dr. Philip Hall, which is a very good friend of mine who's amazing with his pain management. I'm working quite closely with him. We've got, you know, people down in Melbourne like Jim Saltis, another good friend of mine, Dr. David Kowalski's in Sydney, Dr. Krish over in Perth. You know, there's people everywhere. And they're males. Now, I also need people to realise that we've got people like Dr. Jason Abbott as well, who's in Sydney. He's one of the directors or the chief medical director of Endometriosis Australia. Every avenue that you see on TV to do with endometriosis, which encompasses one of the major causes of period pain, which is endometriosis and adenomyosis, Jason is there every single time. And he gives a lot of his own time, his own money, and he's also at a government level up there with a lot of other women as well. Now, not discounting the women that are there doing that. This is not what I'm talking about. This subject is about the male bashing. So people need to know that, and I'm very, very passionate about it because, for instance, if someone like Jason dropped off the planet, or Dr. Kowalski, or Dr. Yazdani, or Dr. Michael Wynne Williams, who are amazing, brilliant, advanced trained surgeons, or Dr. Saltis down in Melbourne, or a good friend of mine, Dr. Gareth Weston, and any of those people, or Dr. Philip Hall, those people would lose these advanced trained excision surgeons who are the top in their field, who have helped thousands and between them millions of women manage their pain and period pain, and it'd be a sorry day for women's health if they were gone. And this is what happens sometimes. And we've had colleagues commit suicide through that, as much as we've had women commit suicide through yuckiness on social media, and they're living with pain. And just one more thing, there's healthcare practitioners that do the same. Remember that. You need to remember that just because we're men, it does not mean we do not understand female issues. A lot of the time we research it a lot more. Plus, the other part is that we deal with this on a day-to-day basis. We've got people crying on our shoulders, telling us they want to die, they want to take their own life. We see people take their own lives and so forth. And that's why we are out there. And if you took our voice away, you don't have a voice anymore. So you've got to remember that. And you might be that one person. Imagine if that male turned around and said, you're that nasty person that made that comment on me, and I'm the only person that can fix you. I don't want to touch you. Go and find someone else. And you could end up with some standard surgeon or practitioner and live a life of even worse than what you're in now. And that's what happens. So just remember that while this is not I don't get this with everyone, because I know that, you know, a good, 80 to 90% of people aren't like that. But those ones that are, I'm making this very, very clear that there are males out there that spend our family time. I know when I get up, I do a blog, I spend my family time, I spend my work time, I'm spending time right now. And when we give things on Facebook or Insta, it's free. It's friggin' free. That information and that time is free. You're not paying for it. Whereas a lot of things on the internet, it's paid. I will sell you into a program and I will make you pay. And they're people that don't have half the qualifications and things like that. So I am really annoyed when I hear this, you don't have a vagina, you don't understand. Pain is pain. I understand pain quite well, very, very well. And so do a lot of other people. And it's the reason why we get into this. The other part that annoys me about that is about the partners, the genuine partners who support their female companions and partners in all this too. They're a little bit of the unsung heroes as well. Now, while that male might not understand or whatever, like yesterday, I had a lady in with endometriosis. She's got endometriosis, adenomyosis, looking at another surgery, in major pain. And who's there with her the whole time? Her partner. Sat in the room with her, holding her hand, talking to her. And when I was talking about, this, next surgery might actually help, he was like, fix. And he was like, nearly jumping out of his skin, because what affects her affects him. Yes, it's on a different level. Of course it's on a different level. He's not in pain. He's not doubled up. But he's in a whole world of hurt inside for his partner. So we can't discount that. So when people say no uterus, no comment, think about those partners that are sitting at home would do anything watching their partner in pain and how that affects them emotionally. They have a right to comment too. And a lot of them are, and a lot of them are out there. They go to events, they hold their partner. And yeah, sure, there's shitty people out there too. And if you're with one, I always say to people, if you're with a shitty partner, then why be with that person? Of course, there's shitty people out there, but that's both male and female. That's a human trait. So let's take the gender out of things and stop this whole issue. It's the same as if I heard that about a female. It's abuse. It's physical. It's an emotional abuse, and it lacks insight. It lacks intellect. It lacks everything on so many fronts. So again, just remember there's a lot of males out there that care about women's health issues. They're there because they want to be. They want to help you. And also a lot of them have family members like I do that have period pain and endometriosis and have watched their own partners and so forth suffer with pain as well. And it's a horrible thing, even as someone like myself that can help them. It's still not nice to watch someone lying on a floor or staying in a bathroom for an hour or watching them, you know, pretty much hemorrhage, and there's not much you can do except get them to your local A&E and try and get a colleague or someone to help them, you know, like it's, I just, yeah, it's, I just hate it. So what I will say to those people is, next time you start male bashing, just remember those males one day might be able to operate on you, save you a world of pain. And don't blame everyone for your situation either. Not discounting your situation, but a lot of people have just seen some crappy practitioners. They're not managed well. And then we've got some people who are self-sabotaging, not taking their own medications. And sorry, I'm going to say it, they've only got themselves to blame because they're not doing all the things they were told and not being managed, and they won't go and do anything about it. And they're happy to get on and whinge about it, live in their disease rather than being proactive. Because my proactive patients know what happens when they're proactive. They get out of pain, they get a life back, they get managed and so forth, and we help those people. So, and everyone's got different circumstances. Yes, I feel sorry for people that don't have the physical means, they don't have the emotional means, they don't have the monetary means. I feel sorry for those people. And there are those genuine cases, but there is a lot out there that have the means, they have the capability, and they don't want to either. And then they want to blame everyone else. So let's look at it for what it is. Let's be real about it, and let's stop the male bashing out there, because a lot of people, a lot of males are out there trying to help women's health issues. And one thing I'll say to you, the last bit, yes, period pain is not normal. And if you are in pain, it means that you either haven't been investigated properly. In every cause of period pain, there's no magic pill, whether it's CBD oil or whatever, there is no magic pill. And you shouldn't be self-administering things anyway. You should be seeing a qualified healthcare professional. You should not be seeking advice off groups because they're not trained professionals. You've got to see the right people. So let's be really, really clear about that, really, really clear. And yes, while medications and that aren't good, and there are alternatives out there too, and you've got to try those as well. But let's be clear about it. A lot of people aren't managed well, and they've just seen some shitty people. But you cannot lob every healthcare practitioner, every male, or what into what your own experience is either. That's your experience, and it's sad that you've seen someone. But I give people this opportunity to say, well, you know what, you could have seen a bad one. Go and see a good one. This is the criteria you need to see. It's all over my website. All right, I am going to go now. I've said my rant, and I hope people understand where I'm coming from, and hopefully you as a people will stamp those people out as well and pull them up just as I would. And I would do that exactly the same if it was a male issue and it was female dominated and someone was being like that. I would say exactly the same thing. Take the gender out of it. Yeah, it's ridiculous. All right, I'm going. Take care, everyone.